Hello and welcome to Compass Conversations, where we talk about meaning and purpose at Butler and beyond. Enjoy the journey.
Hello, and welcome to another episode of Compass Conversations. I'm Dr. Brent Heggie, Compass Center Scholar in Residence and Senior Lecturer in Religion at Butler University. In this season of Compass Conversations, I'm hosting a series of conversations with current Butler Compass scholars to learn more about the work we do at the Compass Center, the Compass Scholars Program, and the importance of interfaith engagement in exploring meaning and purpose. Thank you all for joining us for this conversation. With me today is third-year Compass Scholar Raj Kanakia. Welcome, Raj.
Hi.
Just to get us started, tell us a little bit about yourself. Like, where are you from? What are you studying at Butler? What are your career goals? And what have you been involved with at Butler?
As far as where I'm from, I'm just from Fishers, Indiana. I know it's nothing crazy, nothing too cool of a place, but my parents are from India, so I'm a first generation like student in the U.S., I guess is a good way to put it. And I'm studying pharmacy right now at Butler. So as you said, I'm in my third year. In pharmacy terms, it's known as the P1 year, and they usually do like PP1, PP2 as like undergrad, and then P1 through 4 as graduate student years. As of now, I'm kind of considering doing industry pharmacy at that type of company like Lilly or something like that, in which I can kind of use some of my own kind of creativity. Ever since I kind of became a freshman, I joined this program called Dog Days, which is a great pre-orientation program to welcome freshmen who are incoming to Butler. And it was a great experience. I had a great mentor. His name was Meet Patel, also another Butler alumni.
Know Meet very well. Yeah.
He was super amazing to me. He also made me feel very welcome at Butler University.
Great.
And so I actually was a Dog Days mentor my sophomore year, going into my sophomore year. And then I was just recently a Dog Days student coordinator going into this year as well. And so that's kind of reflected just how much I've loved that program and how much how much I've kind of wanted to almost not mimic, but just kind of give another student that type of amazing experience that I had. It gave me a great group of friends to start out with at Butler and great connections. And, I always knew I had a safe space in the diversity center. So that was the thing. And then as I've kind of been more involved with the scholarship program, I've helped to be in the Interfaith Council, which was something I was a part of for a while, where we had various interfaith conversations. They're very beneficial for learning about those around us, and also especially those from different religious or spiritual backgrounds of different sorts. I was in SASA for a while, which is the South Asian Student Association.
That's a lot. You're really involved in campus, and that's really wonderful because you're sort of experiencing these different aspects of your exploration of like what you want to do with your life and your education and also your identity. What's it been like to explore kind of your own religious or spiritual commitments while at Butler? What have you learned from that kind of exploration or reflection?
I think it kind of, as far as my own spiritual and religious commitments, I feel like being a part of, especially the Interfaith Council, I think that's when I got the most hands-on like type of experience. I think I was able to get to a point where I felt like I could kind of question things, and not in like a sense of like I don't believe it, but rather a sense of just like trying to understand like the deeper message. And also like sometimes it is just questioning things that maybe you just don't necessarily agree with and stuff. And I feel like that takes, I mean, it's not courage in some ways, because a lot of people kind of are scared to kind of do differently or think differently than what's told or being said. But also just just kind of like another level of knowledge in general, just because it kind of means you've interacted with it more. I think going into college, while I was active in my faith, I'm also not sure if I mentioned I'm a Hindu student, but while I've been active in my faith and such, I feel like joining um, groups where interfaith conversation just had more, I was able to kind of explore and just dig deeper and just understand more about other people, but also just kind of be like, yeah, like, this is how I feel about certain things too. And understand that a lot of people, even if you have like a different faith or something, a lot of people's opinions on things is very similar for the most part.
Hmm.
Um, it kind of helped to show unity, but not just that, just kind of showing like how you could look at the same perspective in so many different ways,
Yeah.
which I think being a part of those groups, having great mentors, and just people that can kind of lift me up have kind of encouraged me to keep going, and
Yeah.
pave my own path.
Yeah. Well, what would you say to prospective students or current students at Butler about why it's important for everyone to do this kind of interfaith engagement or learning about other perspectives like religious, philosophical, spiritual? Like what's important about that for their growth as students and as people?
It definitely teaches you more about yourself than what you would maybe think. And I think sometimes, especially when we're growing up, especially in today's world where a lot of people are kind of reinforced by their own echo chambers that they kind of set up around them or that are maybe reinforced. Because I mean, if obviously social media and stuff, they will look at, what you interact with, they'll give you more of that. It's almost made a lot of people, I feel, in my opinion, a little bit, I don't want to say like narrow-minded, but I want to say maybe just not exposed to so many things. And I think dialogue has been also lacking in some sense regarding
Hmm.
these conversations. There's a lot of it's just due to discomfort, maybe just current issues that are going on in the world and
Yeah.
such that make people more, I guess, more on edge about these types of things. I think
Hmm.
it helps to understand where everyone is at around you, but also kind of for you to almost kind of put your own prejudices kind of down, like kind of lower that little defense that we all have and stuff. I feel
Hmm.
like a lot of people, even outside of politically, have become very polarized in some ways. And so I feel like it helps to kind of break some of that polarization and kind of see more of the truth behind what is actually going on and to see just the real act, like the real human like feelings towards all these subjects. And I think
Yeah.
it's been able to help me have an open mind. And I think that just goes a long way. I mean, even if you think it may not, even if you think it's just like, okay, it's just whatever, it can help you so far down your life.
Yeah, that's really well put. I really appreciate that. Yeah. And that's kind of a nice segue into the next question I have for you, which is what's something you want prospective Butler students to know about the Compass Center or the Scholars Program or anything else related to meaning, purpose, spiritual life, interfaith engagement at Butler?
I think one thing I would like to stress is just the fact that the uh, the Compass Center in general, it's not just like you have to be affiliated with some sort of particular like religious group or
Mhm.
like you have to be spiritual in some type of way, even though that's one of or a couple of the I guess the components of it.
Points on the compass. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, they help with, meaning, purpose, things like that,
Hmm.
and just being able to engage with other students on campus. I mean, I remember a time where I was actually very like kind of I was a little struggling a little bit mentally, but I also was just kind of struggling a little spiritually. And even though Daniel wasn't necessarily like we didn't share the same like faith, for instance. I
Hmm.
came to talk to him and we actually didn't even have much of a conversation about faith. It actually ended up being more about like him just helping me to kind of narrow down what I'd want to do in my life career wise. And it
Hmm.
was such like an odd conversation, but he's like, yeah, Raj, like the compass center, like that's just part of it. And I was like, no way, like I had no idea. And
Yeah.
so like I would encourage prospective students to come to the Compass Center and definitely engage with, especially the staff. The staff are amazing. I'm not just saying that because you're interviewing me. I mean, the staff. And I think they definitely can help you on your own personal journey through college. And I feel like that's kind of part of what I mean, that is what the Compass Center is for in general. So
Hmm.
definitely, like, if you're a freshman watching this or incoming prospective student, like please engage with the Compass Center because there's a lot more that you probably will learn or kind of get out of it than you think. And as far as just the scholarship program, I think it's great to apply to, even if you maybe are like a little skeptical about maybe just if you think your experiences that you've kind of done so far are worth it, like at least apply. And it's super great, just because it kind of helps you to dig deeper into what just the Compass Center stands for, but also gives you that hands-on experience that I feel like a lot of students wouldn't otherwise get. Since it is a scholarship program, there's always that incentive to go to more events and such. But regardless, the I don't think you can really put a price on the things that you learn through being a scholar and just kind of being able to interact more with what kind of goes on campus, as far as especially stuff through the Compass Center.
Yeah. You've covered so many different aspects of the work we do together, and it's been wonderful. Is there anything else that we maybe haven't talked about that you'd like to share with our listeners before we sign off?
One piece of wisdom I would give is just to try something new. At least, especially if you're a freshman, at least go to like 2, 3 different events that you would probably never think of going to. In like the first couple semesters. It teaches you a lot. I know it's hard to kind of get started because, classes feel like a lot. You just want to hang out with your friends and stuff. But I mean, take your friends to some of these events. This doesn't hurt. Um, and also just don't be scared to go to an event maybe where your background may not be like represented, I guess, in the event. Like there might be a speaker who is like, I don't know, like Hindu, for example, and you may not be Hindu. Like you can still go to it and learn a lot. The part of the Compass Center, the events that we put on, especially are more they're more presented in a secular way, which means like it's any person can come to them and stuff. And so my best bit of advice is to just get involved as much as you can. Don't bite more off than you can chew, but definitely try to explore things, because I know one thing I would definitely regret if I didn't get involved with everything was just not doing it, and just kind of wondering when I graduate, like, yeah, how would it have been like if I went to these things? So just try to go attending and just go in with an open mind. You don't have to agree with everything that might be said, but just going there and just kind of absorbing and just kind of letting everything just kind of come to you as you're there really goes a long way, as I've kind of reiterated a couple of times.
Yeah, that's great advice for anybody listening who's thinking about Butler or wondering about how to get started on interfaith engagement or just like moving beyond their comfort zone. That's really good advice. Thank you, Raj. And Raj, thank you so much for joining me for this conversation about the good, meaningful work we do together at Butler's Compass Center. And good luck with the end of the semester.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for your time and for having me.
Thanks to our listeners for joining us for this conversation. Please like and subscribe and share this podcast. And please add your comments below. Be well, y'all.